This is Midwest Moxie, a show about our region's visionary entrepreneurs and the experiences that shape them. I'm your host, Kathleen Gallagher, Executive Director of Five Lakes Institute. Ben Ivers was 4 years old when he cut up some carrots and tried to sell them from a table in front of his house at the far end of the cul-de-sac. Fast forward a few decades, and Ben is having much greater success selling marketing automation software. After a decade working at 2 companies in the industry, Ben co-founded Tenon, an Indianapolis company that helps teams collaborate on marketing campaigns and integrate with sales and customer service. Tenon has raised $11 million and has 13 employees. Ben, welcome to Midwest Moxie.
Thanks for having me, Kathleen.
After graduating from Indiana University, you had degrees in Spanish and entrepreneurship. You spent 10 years working at these digital marketing companies. Then one day you got a call from a former boss asking if you wanted to start a company. Who knew you could get a call to start a company? Tell us about that.
It was certainly a call that I did not expect. I had worked with that former manager for several years, and he had been speaking with someone at an organization called ServiceNow and was told that they really needed someone to build marketing on top of their platform. And he had been a CEO of a small startup that had been acquired by the company I was working at the time. And he realized that this was not the point in his career to go and start another business. So he wanted to find the right people to start this business. So I had been the VP of Sales Engineering, which that role is it's the combination of sales and engineering. And there's a joke in the community that it's the role for people who aren't outgoing enough to be a salesperson and aren't technical enough to be an engineer. So you end up being a sales engineer.
The mush in the middle.
Yes, you're really stuck in the middle. You're outgoing enough to sell, but you don't want to be the person who's closing deals. And then you're not quite technical enough to build new software. So I had been in that role, had been working with marketers for a long time. And I thought to myself, when is the next time that I'm going to get the opportunity to co-found a business like this? And I decided I had to jump at this situation.
So it was such an opportunity to build a startup on a large existing platform. ServiceNow, which Indiana native Fred Luddy founded in 2004, has more than 27,000 employees. It automates business processes. How did you figure out how to make your first product to put on that platform?
When we first started out the business, we were working with High Alpha. And they are a VC firm out of Indianapolis that they will take companies in a bit of an incubator, accelerator type model. And we got 1 week with them to go through a sprint week. And they use that to really validate a business, decide whether or not they have enough conviction in the thesis of that business, if they will invest or not. So we went into that first week with one idea. We thought we were going to do internal communications because ServiceNow is often used across Fortune 500 companies, and every single employee in that organization would have a license. So we thought, oh, what a great opportunity to really unify internal communications. That first day of the sprint week, we talked to about 10 different leaders in IT, marketing, corporate communications, and found out we should not build that product.
This is at potential customers, right? You were calling.
Yeah, these were potential customers. Yeah. And they told us really that they did not have a need for that. They were figuring it out some other way. Well, we made a pivot that evening and
on to day 2.
Decided to go towards marketing project management, which aligned really closely with what ServiceNow does for the IT department, for legal, for HR, which has helped them manage all of the tasks that go into their day-to-day. And we validated that with another set of potential customers. And then we started to build out a product advisory council. There's actually a role in most organizations of a certain size called the marketing project managers. They'll sometimes have many people in that role. And we started to interview them on a weekly basis. I was meeting with several leaders in these roles just to get insight onto what they were looking for. And we really found that there wasn't a tool that was geared specifically towards the marketing role. So that's why we decided to start there for our first product.
So you were swimming along. You did that. You got investment from High Alpha and ServiceNow. You had Eli Lilly as a customer, but after 18 months, Eli Lilly terminated the contract. ServiceNow decided to get into this space. They must have seen how well it was working for you. What did you do?
Yeah, so this was another point where we had to make a pivot. ServiceNow is announcing that they were going into the customer relationship management space. They wanted to compete against Salesforce, and we saw that as an opportunity. It brings us pretty closely back to that first idea that we had going into the sprint week, but instead of focusing on internal communications, every good customer relationship management tool needs marketing automation to go alongside it so that you can send emails, text messages, host landing pages for people to go to from those emails and those text messages. And we decided to pivot to that to be complementary to what the ServiceNow team was starting to build out. And for us, that helped us become much more complementary to their business overall. So it was a pivot that we had to make just because of the terminations and contracts we were seeing in the marketing project management space. And we ended up raising our Series A based off of that pivot as well, and got our investors excited about the opportunity that existed in the marketing automation space on the ServiceNow platform.
Series A being kind of the round you do after you've raised the little money and the friends and family, and it's like the big, okay, now we're on our way. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's when you're getting other VCs involved. So we had Stepstone Group, another Midwest organization, come in to help invest in us.
So here you are. Now you're kind of on your way in a different way. I have to guess that 10 years of working in the industry, I mean, I don't know how you would even think about that pivot if you didn't have all that experience in the industry, right?
I would say it certainly helped. I had seen of all ends of the marketing spectrum in the previous roles that I had. When I first got started, I was focused on helping marketers in a regulatory environment approve their marketing content. And then I moved into actually helping them send out content. Procter & Gamble used to be a customer of mine, and we would send almost 4.2 billion diaper emails a year. all those parents out there that are getting their loyalty points from Pampers, at one point in time, those were coming from me. So I had seen both B2C, business to consumer, and business to business marketers and how they try to engage their customers from an email text messaging perspective. So it was a space I was really comfortable with. So I was excited to dive in that new opportunity.
So once you made that pivot, did that help you get more business, more referrals from ServiceNow, or not as many?
A lot more. For us, it was really exciting because when we built the first product, so many times when we would go to the big ServiceNow events where all their salespeople were there, they would come up to us and say, "Hey, does that mean you can help us compete against Salesforce?" And with the marketing project management tool that we had built initially, the answer really was no. Salesforce competes with ServiceNow on the customer relationship management side of things. And they would always be able to say, well, ServiceNow doesn't have marketing automation. Now we were able to tell those salespeople, we can help. Salesforce is telling you, their potential customers, hey, ServiceNow is missing marketing. Just bring in Tenon. So we've been working to enable them as best we can, that if they hear the word marketing, they should be calling up Tenon. So now close to 80-90% of all of our opportunities, our potential customers, are coming inbound to us from ServiceNow sales reps or from the partners in the ServiceNow community.
Wow. Do you worry that ServiceNow might try and go into this business?
It's definitely got to be in my mind to some extent. But the great thing now with what we've built is an amazing relationship with their product team on the customer relationship side of the house. So I meet with their product owners at least on a weekly basis, if not more frequently, so that we make sure we're aligning our product roadmaps with one another.
So you've grown considerably since you started in 2022. What kind of potential do you think Tenon has at this point?
So from a potential perspective, it's really, I think, an opportunity for amazing growth in this space. Anytime that someone purchases a customer relationship management tool, they're looking to purchase marketing automation as well. So that's going to allow us to continue to grow with ServiceNow. We can also help ServiceNow to go out and acquire new customers. Sometimes marketing automation can be that, as they'll say in the industry, that spearhead into the platform itself. So we can sell ServiceNow kind of standalone with Tenon, so that now these customers can do marketing on the ServiceNow platform and benefit from the workflows that it has. And then they can realize, oh, I want to expand into all these other great things that ServiceNow can do as well. So if I look at other players that have been in this built on a platform type space, one that's a great example is Viva. They were built on Salesforce. They grew so much that they ended up IPOing. Now they're a publicly traded company. And when they got started, they were built on a large existing platform. So that's the opportunity that exists for us as well.
So a lot more potential selling marketing automation software than carrots.
Indeed. Carrots at the end of a cul-de-sac where maybe one car comes by in a given day or week, not going to sell too many carrots that way.
Thank you so much for taking the time. It was really great talking with you, Ben.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
You can read more about today's guest by visiting wuwm.com. Don't forget, you can also listen to the show as a podcast if you'd like to take us on the go. Just search for Midwest Moxie, that's MOXIE, wherever you listen to your podcasts. I'm your host, Kathleen Gallagher. Midwest Moxie was created by executive producer Audrey Nowakowski and me. Today's episode was produced by Audrey Nowakowski and engineered by WUWM's Jason Reevy. Join us next Saturday afternoon at 2:30 to hear from more visionary Midwestern founders building innovative companies. That's right here on 89.7 WUWM, Milwaukee's NPR. Support for Midwest Moxie comes from Microsoft, whose efforts to drive technology development across the Midwest and beyond include its National TechSpark community engagement work, which started in Wisconsin, its role as co-founder of Titletown Tech in Green Bay, and its new AI co-innovation lab at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. More information is available at Microsoft.com. Support also comes from Quarles, a multidisciplinary AM Law 200 firm with approximately 550 attorneys who support large and small businesses, from Fortune 500 companies to startups and entrepreneurs across the country. More at Quarles.com.